Times are bad. Children no longer obey their parents, and everyone is writing a book. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of human life, unless it is woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history? Read at every weight, read at all hours, read within leisure, read in times of labor, read as one goes in, read as one goeth out. The task of the educated mind is simply put, read to lead. Friendship improves happiness, and abates misery, by doubling our joys, and dividing our grief. For there is but one essential justice which cements society, and one law which establishes this justice. This law is right reason, which is the true rule of all commandments and prohibitions. Whoever neglects this law, whether written or unwritten, is necessarily unjust and wicked. Not to know what has been transacted in former times is to be always a child. If no use is made of the labors of past ages, the world must remain always in the infancy of knowledge. For books are more than books, they are the life, the very heart and core of ages past, the reason why men worked and died, the essence and quintessence of their lives. The life of the dead is placed on the memories of the living. The love you gave in life keeps people alive beyond their time. Anyone who is given love will always live on in another's heart. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. What is morally wrong can never be advantageous, even when it enables you to make some gain that you believe to be to your advantage. The mere act of believing that some wrongful course of action constitutes an advantage is pernicious. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. When you wish to instruct, be brief, that men's, children's, minds take in quickly what you say, learn its lesson, and retain it faithfully. Every word that is unnecessary only pours over the side of a brimming mind. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. The man who backbites an absent friend, nay, who does not stand up for him when another blames him, the man who angles for bursts of laughter and for the repute of the wit, who can invent what he never saw, who cannot keep a secret, that man is black at heart. Mark and avoid him. God's law is right reason. When perfectly understood it is called wisdom. When applied by government in regulating human relations it is called justice. A mind without instruction can no more bear fruit than can a field, however fertile, without cultivation. Men decide far more problems by hate, love, lust, rage, sorrow, joy, hope, fear, illusion or some other inward emotion, than by reality, authority, any legal standard, judicial precedent, or statute. 6 mistakes mankind keeps making century after century, believing that personal gain is made by crushing others, worrying about things that cannot be changed or corrected, insisting that a thing is impossible because we cannot accomplish it, refusing to set aside trivial preferences, neglecting development and refinement of the mind, attempting to compel others to believe and live as we do. As for myself, I can only exhort you to look on friendship as the most valuable of all human possessions, no other being equally suited to the moral nature of man, or so applicable to every state and circumstance, whether of prosperity or adversity, in which he can possibly be placed. But at the same time I lay it down as a fundamental axiom that true friendship can only subsist between those who are animated by the strictest principles of honor and virtue. When I say this, I would not be thought to adopt the sentiments of those speculative moralists who pretend that no man can justly be deemed virtuous who has not arrived at that state of absolute perfection which constitutes, according to their ideas, the character of genuine wisdom. This opinion may appear true, perhaps, in theory, but is altogether inapplicable to any useful purpose of society, as it supposes a degree of virtue to which no mortal was ever capable of rising.